Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Monday night edition of the IWK 710 Daily Sesh, Education Mondays. I'm your host, Ron McNabb, and we're here tonight for 30 minutes or so out of the day just to have a little bit of fun and have a little bit of learning and medicating while we're doing so. But first, I'm going to start off with a toke on the bong. I kind of really need it right now. Mondays have been lately kind of hectic, to say the least. Tons of stuff keeps happening, and life just gets in the way. I had messaged Kim earlier tonight saying that I wasn't going to make it for the show, but things worked out. So I'm glad I'm here. Glad everyone is here. Feel free to share it out and invite anyone else to watch along. We're going to be having a toke at 7:10 and again at 7:20. The 7:10 will mark the East Coast for 7:10, and then at 7:20 we'll mark the 4:20 for the West Coast. Not sure if anyone's here right now or watching, but I'm gonna light this up, and anyone else, feel free to join along. That feels much better. I'll feel even better in a few more minutes, but just gonna go. We're gonna talk about a few things today. Last week I had talked about my wife has made a salve from calendula. I couldn't remember what the ingredients were in it. I looked into it, and it's actually calendula, comfrey, and I believe coconut oil. Kind of like a healing salve. I'll be able to talk to her a little bit more. Things have just been a little bit crazy here over the last week, and especially the last few days, dealing with a lot of just life stuff, and yeah, it's the way it goes sometimes. But you know what? Still here. We're here tonight, and let's get at her. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is I talked about the gardens that I used to have at another house that I lived in before. I'm going to pull up a screen here. I'm going to bring to a full screen, make it a little bit easier for you guys to see. And hey, Frost, how's it going? Clones, they're going. I've had a few that didn't make it, but you know what? That's expected. I've got I think 4 or 5 Californian gold clones right now. They're still looking good. You know, let me go back to this screen here. They're still looking good, and I've got about I think 2 or 3 LA Confidential that I'm still trying to get rooted. I had a few kind of die out, but you know what? Again, it's expected. Again, as well, with life getting in the way and busy, I don't always get a chance to check on them when I should, but that's the way it goes. And that's one of the other reasons why I have the mother plants as well, because I can just keep cutting clones. Buying seeds or having to source clones is not only time consuming, but also not very cost efficient. Hey, Darren, how's it going? Robert Newman, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. And so, yeah, they're going, and I'll probably show an update next week on those. Just rolling up a joint as well for 7:10. What's everyone smoking on tonight? I've got blackberry punch here, or sorry, black cherry punch. And a little later on, I'm going to finish off with some LA Confidential that I grew. I'll show a few buds as well. Hey, Mike Powell, how's it going? And so, yeah. Well, yeah, the gardens here. Let me go over to the other screen. And let me just get rid of this other banner so we can see a little bit better there. This is the old house I lived in. It was an old farmhouse built in the 60s. There was an old barn to the, if you're looking at the picture, the barn would have been to the left and forefront, like, or behind the garden plot that you see there. On the top picture, on the bottom picture, it's the same garden plot, but just from another viewpoint. It was 70 feet long in one direction and 38 feet in another. And I've got another picture here. This one here was another plot that we had. This was opposite side of that one. This was 60 by 30. This is the one where I had planted one cell pack of zucchini in the center of that plot. And no word of a lie, the stalk on that plant was about this big, about the size of a peanut butter jar. I actually had to use an axe to chop it out of the ground. The following years after that, we planted a bunch of other stuff in there. We basically like using the tarps to kill the grass and get everything all nice and happy in the ground with worms and all that stuff. And then, so we'll plant like something like squash or something on top of that, so the vines can go on top of the tarp. And then the following year, the ground is all nice. Don't even have to really till it very much. Just hand turn it over a lot. But we do have a tiller here now. My father-in-law moved back from being out in Manitoba for 14 years and brought his old tiller that he still got kicking around from years ago. Still working. I believe he might have changed the engine on it once. But yeah, he's pretty handy. I learned a lot from him over the years, working on my vehicles and such. Small engines, I'm not that crazy about working on them. And Frost, my boy, yeah, he's doing okay. He's at the hospital right now. One of my other boys is going to pick him up later. Certainly could have been worse, and that's life sometimes. But it's not the first bones he's broken, and probably not going to be the last. But he's okay. The bike, I don't think it is, but you know what? Bikes can be replaced. Your family can't. So thanks, Frost, for checking in. Really appreciate that. I was sorry to have to leave right away at the end of your show today. But that's the way it goes. So I've got another picture here I want to show you. I was actually, you know what? No, I'm going to go back to this other one here. This picture here. Does anyone know what this is? Not the strain or the plant, but what the we got 709. So we're coming up to 710. Does anyone know what the it's a genetic mutation in the plant? Does anyone know what that is? This is one that I had. Hi, Winnie. Nice to. I guess Winnie Matt is watching. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, this is one I grew from the bag seed a while back, and it had this genetic mutations. I'd never seen this before. I was fairly new to growing as well, and it turns out that this is called whorled phyllotaxy. And what that is normally you have your nodes. You have like a node. Okay, you got your stem of your plant here, And we got 7:10, and obviously I missed a little bit of it with the delay as usual. So we'll just, I'm a little bit behind. I'm rolling the joint too. But you know what? That's fine. So here we go. Happy 7:10 Easties. So yeah, you normally have here's your stem of your plant like this. We'll go back to full screen here for a moment. You got your stem of the plant, and then you'll have a branch come out here, and then you'll have another branch come out on this side, and those are nodes, each place where those plant branches come out. Well, on a whorled phyllotaxy plant, you have a third one. So not only do you have your regular two, this is like a bird's eye view here, you have a third one that will come off, and it will be symmetrical, just like it is in the plant there. Now, one may say, well, you know what, that's kind of great because you're going to get a bushier plant, which that is true for that one particular grow, because the genetic mutation does not usually carry through with breeding. So just because this one has that trait, seeds from that may not. Now, this sadly turned out to be male, so I couldn't grow it out. I ended up trashing it as soon as I could. But I would have loved to have seen if it were to be female and see it develop and see what I would have got off it. But that was that. I'm just gonna share the screen over here again. I just got here some information here on whorled phyllotaxy. Just give me a moment. Okay, here we go. And can everyone hear me fine? And can you see the screen fine, or do I need to zoom that in a bit? I'll see if I can zoom that in. Hopefully everyone can see that fine. So yeah, whorled phyllotaxy on the cannabis plant is certainly an unusual trait and makes the plant appear bushy. A bushier plant can lead to higher yields. So in the end, this character is actually considered beneficial by many growers. And notice how it says growers, because a breeder wouldn't necessarily want that because they're wasting their time. Some growers may not want it as well because they're wasting their time in waiting to see if it's male or female, and again, it may not pull through. So just give me a moment here. I think I've already covered most of this in here, but anyone's interested, look at it, look it up. There's also a lot of other mutations. Can see and hear me fine. That's great. Facebook user, I don't know who that is. If you haven't yet, you need to connect to give StreamYard permission to see your name. If you don't want to do that, or you don't know how to do it, or it's too confusing, you can just type your name in the comments. Let me know who you are. That's fine as well. Has anyone else had any growers out there? Have you had any mutations yourselves that you've had? Like I know there's a lot of other ones. There's duckfoot. Did have another site up that I had, and I can't remember what it was. It had a whole listing about 10 most common mutations in cannabis. I kind of always find it neat. There's some mutations out there that you'll see where I've not had it happen yet, but the leaf of the plant in the center of the leaf, it'll be like another bud. It'll be a bud coming out from the center of the leaf, or you'll have leaves coming out somewhere else on the plant where it shouldn't be. Just the same thing as humans. Sometimes there's an extra finger, extra toe, extra arm, whatever. Same thing can happen in plants. After all, we are all living creatures. So I've had leaves that were both Darren, both sides different colors. I believe that's called variegated or something like that. And I believe Green Irene, she had some, I think, that were like that, where's like two different colors on each side of the spine of the leaf. It's pretty cool. So I've got a few minutes to 7:20. Just gonna see. There's another. I don't know if it's necessarily a mutation. I don't. It might be. Has anyone ever heard of Australian bastard cannabis or drunken bastard? If you haven't, it's kind of a really weird plant. Another weird one is freak show. Oops, wrong screen. Hold on here. I'm just gonna go to. Here we go. I'm just gonna remove this from here a second because I don't want to show something that I may not want to show. Okay, so 5. Okay. Now these are just from a Facebook friend. He's posted them on public groups, so I don't feel bad sharing them from his profile. His profile's public as well, and he's also a very big cannabis education advocate. So here, this is Australian bastard cannabis or drunken bastard. There it is. There he's actually growing them right now. This is clones that he's taken. He's kind of documenting the grow. It's kind of interesting. Oops, I just went past there. There's a nice shot there. It's kind of a wieldy looking plant, and it doesn't even really look like cannabis at all. It looks more like an herb than anything else. Oh, there's Al, and another one there. And yeah, there's when it was smaller. Drunken bastard. Leaves are kind of really, really weird. Freak show, Darren, you've got freak show beans. Yeah, I want to get some. I do want to try it, but I don't have the room or the capabilities to do it right now. It's something I definitely want to try. There it is again. There, drunken bastard. That was a little smaller. That looks like it's in maybe a 4-inch or 5-inch pot. Maybe. Yeah. Kind of, I think. And here's the roots there. Nice set of roots. You can see all in there. And we got 7:19, so we're coming up to 7:20 soon. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen there and get myself finished up with the joint here. So how's everyone tonight? Cold where you are? It's getting cold here now. Temperature, I think it's minus something. Find out in a second. -2. Feels like I think -5 or something like that. Oh nope, -6 feels like -9. However, I think in a couple of months that's going to feel warm when it will be like -30 or -35 here in like tons of snow, 3 foot of snow. So not looking forward to that, but I'll be spending a lot more time inside. And it is 7:20. Happy 7:20, West 4:20 East Coast. We're off. I will be okay. Happy 4:20 West Coast. See, that's what happens when I'm doing more than one thing at a time here. Oh, well, that's the way it goes. And hope everyone's having a good time tonight. The family, the other F word I'm dealing with at the moment. Yeah, I think we all at some point or another have family issues and stuff. But you know what? We're not gonna focus on that because we're here to have fun. But I do hope that that all goes well, and close that off there. And let's see, just looking at the comments here. So if anyone has any ideas or anything they'd like to go over on these Monday night sessions, feel free to comment at any time you want. Again, I don't claim to be a professional at all. I'm here to learn as well, just as much as you. And that's what it's all about. Patients helping patients. And it makes the world go around. And don't have a whole lot more else to talk about right now. I guess everyone's getting excited for Christmas coming up. It's I guess just over a month away. I'm definitely not ready. I'm not really much into Christmas per se. I'm more into spending the time with family, just having fun. Of course, smoking weed, that goes without saying. Thankfully, I'm in a family that is very cannabis friendly, and so that kind of works well. And yeah, I don't really have a whole lot else to say, except I still do have some closing off of the gardens to do. Still got some garden decor out there that's got to be taken in, put into the shed, packed up for the winter. Some other garden supports like fencing and stuff that's just got to be put away. Wednesday's supposed to be a bit of a nicer day. It's supposed to be 5 and sunny. Probably get myself out there and do some work. Certainly in the afternoon, it's nice doing that. I can listen to Frosty's show, Cannabis Corner, with Jay Frost. Listen to that in the background while I'm working. It's nice. Great bunch of people over there. He's got a show on later tonight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 p.m. Newfoundland Time. Check them out if you want. The other thing I wanted to just go over real quick is started doing a list of some of the stuff that we grow or have grown. Most of it we have done this year. A couple of the ones I have on the list here we did, I think last year. I'm not going to go over what I did when or whatever. That's not really important. But this just gives you a little bit of an idea of some of the stuff that we do. I haven't even finished the list, but you can see there green and yellow bush beans, scarlet runner beans. They're a really nice bean that we use to grow over top of structure and up the side of we have I made a lattice work on the front of our house from wood scabs left over from one of our local sawmills. that I got for free. I just pieced them together, made it a little bit of a grid, screwed them all together, and screwed that into the front of the house with a couple of screws, and we put strings, twine up and down, and we grow the scarlet runners there. They produce a nice little red flower, and then long beans, about I guess 8-10 inches long. The foliage stays green for quite some time, right into the late fall. So it gives a lot of nice appearance on the house and around the structures as well. But getting back to the list here, kale, we do purple and green. Carrots, parsnips, yellow, red, and white potatoes. Whoops, I gotta adjust my mouse scroll here. It's a little bit fast. Again, new laptop, so I haven't finished setting all the settings up to meet my needs. I do it as I come along it. Tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, beefsteak, Earliana. Earliana is like a small, like a 2-inch, 3-inch sandwich tomato. It's nice in sandwiches, in salads, or even just wedges with salt and pepper. Brandywine, they are a new one that we tried this year from a friend of ours. They gave us we bought a small plant from them, and the plant didn't do so hot, but we really did like the tomatoes that we did get off it. They're kind of like a purple color, almost like a purpley green. It's kind of a really weird color. I'll get a picture sometime, maybe next week, and do that. And show you. I think I have some of my own from the pictures. If not, I'll just find something off the internet to show everyone. San Marzano, they're a plum tomato. We tried them from someone local as well. We bought a few plants from them. Zucchini, butternut squash, spaghetti squash, Hubbard squash. Hubbard squash get really big. We only usually get about 1 squash per plant, but 2 or 3 squash will last us the entire year. We'll have that prepped up in the freezer. We usually dice them up, as well as cook them up and have it done up as a puree. We use it for adding to soups, or the diced one we'll use to put on like a veggie roast in the oven with tomatoes that we also have in the freezer. We just take whole tomatoes, freeze them, we score the bottom, we core them, score the bottom, put them in a bag, get the air, as much air into the bag as we can, throw it in the freezer. When we want, pull it out, thaw them out, put them out on a cookie sheet, chop up some onion, zucchini, same thing in the freezer here, with diced zucchini, the Hubbard squash, and that drizzle some olive oil, a little bit of salt and pepper, and some other spice if you want, and put it in the oven. Everything kind of gets all what's the word I'm looking for? Caramelized, and really lots of nice flavor. So if anyone wants to try that sometime, you can do that. It's a dish that we do quite often. It's fairly simple and easy, and it's just all on a sheet pan. And cleanup is a breeze, because if you want to use foil, you can, or whatever. Marrow, that's like a softer. It's almost like a zucchini. We also have horseradish, which I have also made a horseradish, taken it, like grated it, mixed it with vinegar in the house, so I can have it to have with my steak and stuff. Peas, romaine lettuce, butter crunch lettuce, spring, Spanish, and yellow cooking onions, leeks, pickling and slicing cucumbers. My wife makes some amazing dill pickles. both naturally fermented, as well as pickled with vinegar. I think I went too far up on the list here. Okay, there we go. I'm looking over. I got a second screen here, actually, a 32-inch TV that I have for my screen that I'm working off of, and the broadcast screen is in front of me. So I can work on both at the same time instead of flipping back and forth on the same monitor. It makes it a lot easier. Now, I just wish the TV was touchscreen as well, as like my laptop is. Makes it a lot easier for scrolling and clicking and stuff while I'm on the air here. So anyways, pumpkin, dill, strawberries we've done this year. My youngest son's girlfriend, her grandmother, gave us some runners that had come off of some of their strawberry plants. We've got now our own little strawberry patch going, and they're already starting putting runners off. And we got a few strawberries this past summer, which I wasn't sure if we were going to get anything the first year. And man, were they ever sweet. They're in perfect soil. They're nice sandy soil, lots of drainage, really good for them. They're also shaded by a nice big elm tree, so they don't get burnt up too much. Corn. I did corn this year. We've done corn a few years. Not really been successful. I'm determined to try again this year. We did get some, and it was good, but for the amount of garden space it takes for what I get, it's not really worth it. This past year, I had a 20 by 20 patch for the corn. Now, I did have butternut squash, spaghetti squash growing in amongst the corn. And I can also plant beans in there too, pole beans I could. And they'd go up the corn stalks. It's called the Three Sisters. Squash, corn, and beans, they all work well together. The squash that covers the ground helps hold the moisture in for the corn, because corn is a very heavy waterer. That's one of my weak points right now, is I don't have a way of sufficiently watering them enough during the high time for growing. When they're growing in August, you can actually hear corn growing when it's got, provided it's got enough moisture in the ground for it to grow. You can actually hear it growing. You'll hear it creaking in that at night. And I thought that's kind of wild. Didn't really hear about that before until I actually heard it for myself. But again, with the amount of space that it takes, I just don't know. That's what I was saying about the issue with the watering. I've got an issue with my well pump right now, where if the water is on for an extended period of time, the pressure drops, and it takes a while for it to come back up. And meanwhile, the pump is starving. So I don't really want to be doing that. It's a rental. We do have a work order in place right now that we've been waiting for a while to get it fixed. So hopefully it'll be done soon. And I'm going to give it one more go next year with the corn. If I'm not successful with it, I'm going to move on to something else, focus my time and my energy and my space on stuff that I can grow more of, especially stuff that is easier to grow, or stuff that's more expensive to get in the grocery store, as well as stuff that I can easily store. Spaghetti squash, don't store very, very easy. I don't have a cold cellar. I do have a spare fridge in the basement that doesn't get opened very much, but it still does have its limitations with that. And if I had cold cellar, it'd be a little bit better. But again, I want to be focusing on stuff that I can have saved up over the winter time when the prices of food go up. I don't have to worry. I have all food here that I've grown. This past summer, we hardly ever had to buy any groceries, like any vegetables at the grocery store. We just shop from our garden every day. Time is getting on here. I'm not going to keep everyone too long. I'm just going to finish up quickly here. But I did red chili peppers this year. Next year, we're going to add in jalapeno or jalapeno. It's a bit of a joke, jalapeno, the pronunciation there, and sweet peppers. We've grown them in the past. At the farmhouse that you saw there before, the red brick house, the wall at the back there, that was southern exposure. So we had peppers all there, and they just loved it with the heat. Now for the greenhouse I'm going to be building, that are from all the free windows and other free skids and wood that I've sourced. Hopefully I'll be able to get them going in there quite nicely this next season. We also do Swiss chard, rhubarb, rutabaga, lovage. Lovage is very similar to celery, but it's a lot stronger. So we use it in soups for flavoring soups. Celery in the grocery stores right now is at times horrendous. It's like $3 or whatever for one stalk, and it's pitiful. It's puny and all banged up and half rotten. So it's like, who wants to pay that for? And I'm doing groceries. I do groceries for a month at a time. So with the lovage, for Darren's asking about storage. That's because, so we've been looking at going on to YouTube, watching a lot of homesteading videos and canning videos and such. We don't have a pressure canner, but we do have a couple of water bath canners. So we do what we can with that. We know how to do it all. We're still learning a lot of the little bits and pieces. And over the years, a lot of things change for like based on safety recommendations and ease of working and stuff. For regards with the storing, like I said, we do stores. I have a 4.5 foot freezer in the basement and a full fridge in the basement. We store as much as we can in there. But we're also doing a lot of, we have a dehydrator as well. So we dehydrate all of our herbs. Some of the other stuff we have, some of the kitchen and medicinal herbs is oregano, spearmint, chocolate mint, basil, rosemary, chives, thyme. And then there's some other ones that are not everyone may be familiar with. There's burdock. I'm not 100% sure what that is. My wife is more up to date on a lot of this stuff, like what they're good for, and that. And she has a better way of better memory and retaining the information than I do. When I read it, I can understand it, but I don't necessarily remember all the details. But I know where to go to find that information if I need to learn something or look something up. Plantain, comfrey. Comfrey, actually, we grow it for several reasons. It's another one of these super plants for medicinal use. As well as a whole other range of uses. We use it as natural fertilizer in the garden. It draws a lot of minerals and nutrients from the ground and stores it up in the leaves. You can chop the plant down, leaving about it's perennial. You leave a couple of inches there, enough for new growth to come through. And then you can do it either, like you can just lay the leaves on the ground. You can chop the leaves up so it'll degrade a little bit faster, or you can get a bucket with a lid. You must have a lid because this really stinks. You make a tea. So you chop the leaves all up in the bucket, and then you put in water, cover it, and let it sit. It will turn to I haven't done it yet. I'm going to be doing it this year, but it will turn to like a sludgy stuff or whatever, but it'll be super concentrated. You can use it to dilute down into like a spray. Like you know the fertilizer sprays you can put on the garden hose. You can get one of those. You can fill that up with the comfrey tea, and you can spray your garden with that. You can spray it on the plants. It has all kinds of different beneficial things about it. Um, Calendula, that's a flower. Uh, as I mentioned, we had taken the petals from that and done it the same way, much the same way as you do cannabis oil, with soaking in the oil in a crock pot and let it simmer and get all happy and stuff. And then you strain the plant material out, and what you've got left is your medicated salve. We also have echinacea. We're going to be learning how to do that with doing possibly tea. I think you can do tea with the leaves. We spend a lot of our off time, downtime on YouTube researching a lot of this stuff. As I said, I haven't finished the list yet. There's some other flowers that we have that are just general flowers. They may or may not have medicinal use. I'm not sure. I don't remember too much of them right now, but time is getting on. So I do want to thank everyone for joining tonight. Hope everyone's enjoyed themselves. And just make sure you tune in every Monday. Let me stop sharing the screen here. Go back to the full screen. Make sure you tune in every Monday to get away for 30 minutes a day on IWK. Just so we can just leave with a smile on your face and a little bit more information to help you along your journey with this green goddess that we all praise. And with that, just want to close out and peace. Have a great night, everyone.